When chaos erupts around you and everyone else is losing their head in the middle of a panic, do you tend to get swept up in the collective dread, or can you keep a cool head like a true strategist? Most people buy into the naive myth that calmness is some genetic gift you either have or you don't, and that feeling fear is an unavoidable weakness in the worst-case scenarios. The counterintuitive truth is that anxiety isn't a compulsory feeling at all, but a glitch in how your nervous system interprets things, and it can be switched off in a matter of seconds. Behavioral psychology shows that whoever masters their physical reactions in a crisis doesn't just survive the stress. They take absolute command of any room while everyone else goes under. So why stay a hostage to the emotional storm and watch your mental clarity vanish the moment pressure kicks in, when you could learn right now the exact protocols to freeze yourself into serenity and become the steadiest person in the room? Topic 1. Physiological break and the amygdala hijack, breaking the panic loop. Notice how most people get swept away at the very first whiff of chaos, letting their heart feel like it's about to leap out of their chest while their mind grinds to a complete halt. When bad news drops in the office or a financial crisis comes knocking, the primitive brain takes the wheel and floods the body with a stress cocktail that blindsides any logical thinking. The wise strategist, though, understands that you can't control the chaos out there without first mastering your own heartbeat. He knows exactly how to pull the biological handbrake before the emotional storm takes over completely. Think of it like the classic composure shown in history's toughest moments, where keeping a level head was the only thing standing between success and utter disaster. The Great Secret, brilliantly documented by authors like Daniel Goleman in his game-changing book Emotional Intelligence, is interrupting the amygdala hijack in the first 5 seconds. To put this into practice right now, try the tactical breathing technique. Breathe in deeply for 4 seconds, hold for 4, then release for another 4. This simple pattern forces your nervous system to slow right down and restores mental clarity on the spot. By taking control of your own body, you stop being a helpless victim of collective panic and become an alert observer of reality instead. This physical composure creates sacred breathing room between the problem that's just landed and the smart decision you need to make next. The moment your biology starts obeying your will, the environment around you begins to lose its power to knock you off balance. But mastering your breathing is only the first step in building this inner shield against chaos. There's an invisible wall you still need to put up, or the negativity of everyone else will seep into your mind before you even notice. Topic 2. Emotional isolation and the firewall mindset, protecting your mind from collective hysteria. It's astonishing how tension spreads like wildfire through dry grass the moment most people start panicking at once. In a packed pub or a boardroom in the City of London, if 2 or 3 people start kicking off about a problem, the whole room's mood turns sour within minutes. The wise observer, however, builds a kind of mental firewall, an invisible filter that separates the hard facts from everyone else's exaggerated drama. By turning down the invitation to join the collective hysteria, you preserve your energy and keep your head clear while everyone else loses the plot. Picture this process as building a bubble of psychological protection, grounded in the stoic thinking so brilliantly laid out by Epictetus in his classic work, The Art of Living. To apply this day to day, whenever you spot someone spiraling over a problem, repeat to yourself, that storm belongs to them, not to me. Keep your arms relaxed, your expression calm, and avoid nodding along mechanically to whoever's busy despairing. This conscious emotional distance stops your colleagues' stress hormones from bleeding into your own bloodstream, letting you carry on thinking with crystal clear clarity. Once you learn to raise this shield against other people's negativity, you gain an enormous inner freedom that very few people in the world ever get to experience. The dreadful pressure of the moment simply hits your shield of composure and dissolves without leaving a scratch. Anyone watching from the outside will clock straight away that you're the only person in the room who isn't getting carried away by rumors or baseless panic. That said, shielding your mind from other people's panic is only half the battle when it comes to mastering any crisis. The real turning point comes when you channel that calm into turning chaos into practical, focused action. Topic 3. Tactical assessment and objective focus, shifting from fear to problem solving. When turmoil breaks out around you, an unprepared mind tends to freeze up, imagining catastrophic scenarios that only fuel the panic further. The true master of self-management, on the other hand, flips the switch immediately and redirects all their focus towards practical, concrete tasks. They don't waste precious time wondering why the storm arrived in the first place, but instead ask which stone needs moving first to get safely across it. This shift from paralyzing fear to strategic action diffuses anxiety instantly, turning reactive energy into pure efficiency. It's the exact same rigorous principle applied by great strategic leaders in moments of global uncertainty, where hesitation comes at an enormous cost. To bring this tactical clarity into your own day-to-day, break any massive problem down into what analysts call the next immediate micro-action. Instead of trying to solve the entire quarter's financial crisis in one go, focus on ringing a single client or sorting out a single spreadsheet. By zeroing in on small, tangible goals, you keep your brain's circuits busy with practical logic, leaving no room for your imagination to conjure up monsters. This ability to focus purely on what's directly within your control brings an instant sense of relief and hands the reins of the situation back to you. While most people stay frozen, trying to guess an uncertain future, you move forward with steady steps, working through problems one by one in a methodical way. The people around you start to notice you not just as someone who's calm, but as the only resolute force in the middle of the storm. And it's exactly this unshakable focus on solutions that opens the door to the most powerful stage of the whole process, influencing and calming everyone else without saying a single word. Topic 4. The anchor effect in radiating calm becoming the pillar of stability. There's a fascinating phenomenon in social psychology. Just as panic is wildly contagious, unshakable calm has its own pulling power too. When a crisis hits and everyone starts shouting and running about aimlessly, the crowd's eyes instinctively find the one person still standing firm like a rock in the middle of the ocean. By keeping a calm posture, slowing down the tone of your voice, and breathing in a steady, measured way, you start giving off a frequency of stability that slows the anxiety of everyone around you, almost like magic. Think of this as the role of the true high-value leader, brilliantly described by Dale Carnegie in his timeless classic How to Win Friends and Influence People. To put the anchor effect into practice, whenever someone shows up in front of you in a full-blown panic, drop the volume of your voice by half a tone and speak at a slower, more measured pace than usual. This simple technique forces the other person's brain to work harder to hear you, which in turn forces their nervous system to slow down to match your pace of peace. By becoming this pillar of calm in tense moments, you stop being just someone who survives the chaos and become the go-to leader in the room instead. The respect you receive becomes organic, genuine, and deep, because people start associating your presence with safety and emotional relief on the hardest days. You become someone who can turn chaotic environments into spaces of order and clarity simply by walking in. And having mastered all these pillars of self-control under extreme pressure, we're ready to tie all this knowledge together in one final journey. Conclusion. Carrying on letting other people's panic dictate your emotions, and accepting anxiety as some inevitable reaction, is a dangerous choice for your future. You weren't born to be just another dry leaf swept along by the currents of collective despair, nor to watch your mind freeze up in the very moments when your leadership and clarity are needed most. Emotional mastery, tactical isolation, and a calm posture aren't just pretty theories. They're real tools you can use to take control of your own destiny and become the steadiest force in any storm. Why keep giving in to stress and watching your health slip away, when you could decide to become the safe harbor for everyone around you instead? Have a think about this. If you keep reacting on impulse to every crisis, shouting when everyone else shouts, and losing sleep over problems that haven't even happened yet, where will your inner peace and your career be in 5 years' time? Are you going to keep letting other people's hysteria dictate your blood pressure, or are you ready to switch on your anchor of stability and take charge of your mind today? Real power doesn't belong to the strongest or the loudest, but to those who hold on to clarity and reason while everyone else loses their way. The decision not to let chaos rub off on you is yours and yours alone. But remember, life tests your worth precisely in the moments of greatest pressure. If you're determined to change the way you deal with stress, want to keep building your self-control, and want to master the deepest strategies of the mind and emotional intelligence, subscribe to the channel right now and turn on notifications. By joining our community today, you're setting yourself up for continuous learning to become the calmest, most respected, and most unshakable person in any situation. Don't let this lesson slip through your fingers. Put the paced breathing technique into practice the next time tension rises. Feel the difference in your body, and we'll see you in the next video.